Hey everybody, it's Craig, and I'm here with another video. Thanks for coming to my channel. Recent workforce shifts, including the OPM's efficiency initiatives, have left many federal employees facing unexpected transitions. Losing a job, especially after you've had years of service, can be overwhelming. But here's the good news. Your skills and experiences that you've learned while being a federal worker are incredibly valuable, and believe it or not, they are in demand. This video is going to equip you with the tools that you need to craft a standout resume, showcase your transferable skills, and land your next great opportunity. So let's get into it. Now, there are two essential resume types: the master resume and the targeted resume. Your master resume is basically your career archive. This is a detailed record of your experiences, your skills, your training, and your certifications. It's a comprehensive document that you can draw from when you need it. A targeted resume is a little bit different. It focuses on different aspects. It's customized for a specific job. It highlights the qualifications most relevant to that role, and it uses the employer's language to make you stand out. A master resume is an investment in your future. And whenever you do a master resume, here's what you need to include. You need to include organization name. You've got to include the location, job title, and employment dates. You also have to include responsibilities and accomplishments using the STAR method. And the STAR method, as we talked about in the last video, is situation, task, action, and result. You also need to use certifications or include your certifications in training and professional development in the resume. And then it's optional whether you want to include your supervisor contact information for reference. Most jobs, particularly now in this day and age, want you to include your supervisor for reference, or they may have you include references, professional references that are different than your supervisors who you worked for. I want you to think of your master resume as a living document. This is something you're continuously improving and updating to reflect your growth and achievements. Now, a targeted resume is a little bit different in that it aligns with the employer's needs. The first thing you want to do is identify the job you want. You want to analyze the job description, what skills or qualifications are emphasized. And then you want to mirror the employer's language, not to the T, but you want to mirror the language from the job description to demonstrate the alignment with what the company might need. Okay, by tailoring your resume, you show hiring managers that you're the perfect fit for that particular role. All right, there's some key questions for targeted resume, okay? When you do a targeted resume, you want to think like a hiring manager would think. You want to get inside their head and see what it is that they would want, okay? So then you want to create a compelling targeted resume. When you do this, ask yourself, what is the understanding of the job? You want to ask yourself questions like, what are the skills that are most important for this role? What are the primary responsibilities? What's the company's culture and ethos and mission? And then you want to analyze your experience when you're doing a targeted resume. Which of these skills that I have are most relevant to this job? How can I quantify my achievements, meaning percentages and values and things that I bring to the table? How can I integrate the company's language into my own resume? And then you want to connect the dots, bring the two together. How does my background align with this role that I'm applying for? And then what makes me a strong candidate for this role that'll stand out amongst other candidates that are applying for this role? Now let's talk a little bit about resume formats and choosing the right structure of your resume. Generally speaking, there are three main resume formats. Okay, the chronological resume is recommended because that's what a lot of employers are going to look for is chronological resume. It kind of highlights year by year what you've done and what your work history has been. So it lists your work experiences in reverse order. That means the most recent work experience comes first, and then the oldest work experience after that. And this is ideal for showcasing your career progression over time. Then there's a functional resume. Now, the functional resume just highlights your skills rather than your job history. Okay, it's useful for career changers or those with employment gaps. Employment gap, people use functional resume. Let's say you were out of work for any particular reason. Maybe you were a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, or maybe you did something different, had an injury that kept you out of work. Those folks use functional resumes to highlight specific areas during their work history. And then combination resume is the last one. It kind of blends both formats. It blends functional resumes and then chronological resumes in both formats. It's useful for highlighting transferable skills while still showing your career growth. Now, most employers prefer the chronological resume, as we talked about earlier. So you want to make sure that you focus on your work history. And this is easy to do because you just look at the specific dates of the time that you started working all the way up until now. And then you just want to fill in those gaps for your work experience and your work history. Now, formatting, you want to make your resume as easy to read as possible. You don't want employers looking at your resume and trying to figure out different types of fonts and things are too big or too small, can't read it. So you want to make your resume as readable and as clear as possible. Hiring managers, they scan resumes in 25 to 30 seconds. So you want to keep it 1 to 2 pages long. You want to use left alignment and consistent formatting in your resume, whether you use bullet points or whether you use check marks or what have you. You just want to make sure that that format is clean and consistent. You want to maintain 1-inch margins for readability. Choose a professional font like Arial or Calibri. You want to use bolding and italics sparingly to emphasize key points in your resume. And you want to proofread your resume meticulously to make sure that there aren't any grammatical errors or mistakes. Now, one thing that I want to highlight in this video, this probably the most important part of this video, is your achievement statements. Achievement statements showcase your impact that you've had in your work history. So your achievement statements should do more than just list your duties or your tasks that you had in any particular job. Your achievement statements should showcase the impact that you had on that job. Okay, quality accomplishments with numbers and metrics like percentages, like the amount of product over time, the amount of change over time, the amount of people that you supervised or worked with or that actually made a change over time and changed the company. Focus on transferable skills that apply across industries, whether that be government or private or public sector. You also want to start with strong action verbs like managed this, led this, or implemented this to show levels of innovation in your work. And then you want to use the STAR method again, like we talked about. It's situation, task, action, and result to create powerful statements, dynamic statements that employers will look at when they see your resume. All right. Here's one example. You don't want to just say things like I manage the agency budget. What you do want to say is something like I oversaw a $2 million budget, reducing costs by 15% while ensuring compliance. And you may want to throw something in there that like, hey, I saved the Navy or saved the Air Force or saved the government X amount of dollars, and then make that metric identifiable and tangible. Okay, so here's a summary of some of the key points that we've talked about. All right, so you want to use a master resume to track your career progress. You want to create a targeted resume that speaks to the employer's needs. You want to format it effectively for easy readability, and then you want to highlight measurable achievements to stand out. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to provide a resource that will lead you, a link that will lead you to a free resume template resource. So you don't have to build the formatting in yourself. We talked a lot about what your format should look like, but I don't know if you know this or not, but Microsoft, if you have Microsoft 365, which you should already have either on your home computer or you should already have downloaded in the computer that you use, there are free resume templates, and I'm going to provide the link in the description as well as a little infographic on the screen for you to see. Follow that infographic, follow the link, and you can have an actual free resume template. You just choose which style that you want. You can have a free resume template, and then you just input your experience into that template whenever you get an opportunity. All right. That's it for this particular video. This is the first video in the series of your Fed Worker Comeback. And I just want you guys to know that I'm here to help. Thank you guys for watching my video. And always remember, as we move through this series, live royally and live well. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.